It's an animal world out there. Watch the World Animal Awareness Society channel and feel right at home. Come, sit, subscribe, and stay a while. On this edition of the Abandoned Dog Rescue Show. Let me take you to a magical place watched over by an army of volunteers. A place where every dog that is adopted saves 2 lives. This is the Abandoned Dog Rescue.
Nice to meet you.
Come see Emily. Come here. Come over here. Come here.
What's your name?
My name is Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Hey. Yeah, you love her, don't you?
Yeah, I like it.
After licking her all over her face.
Yeah. Oh, the price you gotta pay, right?
Yeah, you're just a big sucker, huh?
You must be a good pet. Good boy.
Now, Emily, you've been coming for a while here, haven't you?
Yeah, I didn't yield and stop for a while. Then came back.
And then Harvey.
Yeah, and then
My house flooded.
Yeah,
Did you miss it?
yeah.
That's about how aggressive.
My eyes are swollen.
We found them running around the neighborhood on Easter Friday. Some neighbors gave me a call. They know that yeah, I know. They called me and said that he was running around and that he was hurt. And so I went looking for him and found him at a neighbor laying down in the driveway. He was exhausted that day. And all his fresh wounds from presumably dog fighting. And he had some old wounds and some fresh wounds and ticks and fleas and all the normal things when dogs are neglected. I'm not sure whether he was used as a bait dog or whether he was just out on the field, fending for himself against coyotes and other critters. But he had a lot of fresh wounds around his face. I've had worse in medical terms. So he's actually, like I said, it's par for the course for a dog that hasn't been cared for. I found other dogs that were on the edge of dying and recovered just fine and now living a good life.
Hello, everybody. We have merch. Woo!
tone of shame. Come here, baby. All right. Come on. All right. You ready? You glad to be home, buddy? You ready to go home? You ready to go home? Little hey. She just got fixed yesterday. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? 6 months old, approximately. So we've had her for about 3 months, I think. Normally we have them a month or so until they get their shots and fixed, but she's a seizure baby, so I'm trying to get those under control. We were up here last week because she had about 16 seizures in a day, so we had to bring her up here and they changed her medications. Actually put her on potassium bromide, which is an old drug from the 1800s. So yeah, she's on 3 different medications now, plus her I have to give her emergency meds in case, like, if she has a seizure, I have to do it during the seizure into her nose.
Has that happened yet?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's supposed to stop the seizures. So I guess it does. Maybe it makes them shorter because her seizures the last she had were only 30 to 40 seconds long, and before that some of them were 2 or 3 minutes long. So
It's just got to be an awful thing to see any animal go into a seizure. But
yeah, well, the good thing is they say it's not painful. She doesn't even know it's going on. She's unconscious even though she looks like she's awake, so it doesn't hurt her. It just hurts my heart. So we got Hazel, I guess about 3 months ago. A lady had come up to the shelter and had her in the car with her and wanted to just drop her off, and Denise said that we can't do that, we're limited intake, that she would have to get on a waiting list. The lady said that she was having seizures and had bloody stool and was vomiting. So Denise immediately thought parvo, so she told the lady to take her up to Shady Brook. So the lady took her to Shady Brook and they examined her and couldn't find anything wrong with her immediately. So the ladies said, okay, well, I can't pay the vet bill, just euthanize her. So of course Shady Brook called us, Dr. Niederhauser, and asked if we could take her, and of course Denise said sure. Because we really didn't think she was having seizures and all that. We just, after they didn't find anything wrong with her, we thought that she just was trying to get rid of her. So Denise said sure, and so they brought her to us. And then later on, Denise realized that it was the same puppy, that she didn't even put 2 and 2 together until later that night. So of course, the next day I went up to the shelter and they had her in a kennel waiting for a foster, and texted Sandy. I'm like, okay, I'll take her home, of course. So I took her home, and like I said, we didn't think she was really having seizures, and I guess maybe a couple weeks later, she had a seizure. I'd never seen a dog have a seizure before. She was asleep on the dog bed, and I thought she had just fallen over asleep and fallen off the bed, but I walked over there and she was seizing, and she was foaming at the mouth and doing her hands like this, and yeah, so she had a seizure. Of course, I didn't have any kind of medication then, so her seizure stopped, and I can't remember if she had another one, but I called Denise, and it was like 9 o'clock on a Monday night, and Denise said take her to the emergency clinic up in New Magnolia, which is part of Shady Brook. So I took her up there, and as soon as I got her there and they got her back into a room, she had another seizure. So the doctor was able to see that she was having seizures and see what kind of seizure it was. It was super violent. I think it was because they picked her up and were taking her in the back and it scared her, which they say they're not conscious, but I don't know. So they kept her overnight. I don't remember if she had any more seizures that night. She probably did. And so they like for them to be seizure free for 24 hours before they send them back home.
This has been a WA2S Films presentation of the Abandoned Dog Rescue Show. featuring the volunteers and dogs of Abandoned Animal Rescue. Please consider making a donation to save more lives. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.